Hey guys, this is my Leica Q3. This camera is often titled as the perfect travel camera. And the question that I want to answer in this video, is it? Therefore, we will analyze a few images, we will talk about the focal length, but first we have to discuss what is the perfect camera? What cameras are we talking about if we're talking about travel cameras? I recently took a trip to Greece, more specific to the island of Crete. Now, let's face those scenarios that awaited me. The first challenge, if you're traveling, is always luggage space. And I had that challenge on a very high level, because I had only hand luggage. So beside all my clothes, I had to fit my drone in my Osmo Pocket 3 kit and my camera into my bag. And that is one of the reasons why the Leica Q3 is so good for a travel camera, because it's very lightweight and compact. And that is also the reason why we're talking about a one camera, one lens combo most of the time if we're talking about travel cameras. The next challenge that a camera has to handle if you're traveling is mixed conditions. You have hot weather, you have rain, you have sand, you have dust, you name it. And that's quite something a camera has to handle here. So it helps a lot if your camera is weather sealed. And well, the Q3 is beautifully weather sealed. The fact that the lens is glued to the body helps a lot, because the biggest weak point on a camera, if it comes to weather sealing, is always the bayonet, the mount, where the lens is attached to the camera. Then you have those beautiful batteries with this rubber gasket, and everything else is beautifully sealed as well. I said it many times, I love the ruggedness that the Leica Q3 brings with it. It is just, some kind of freedom if you're running around and do not have to care about your camera getting wet or dusty. Now let's talk about the lens. If we're talking about a one camera, one lens combo as the perfect travel camera, it is crucial to have the right lens. Now, what is the right lens for traveling? Well, first, it should have great quality, because if you only have one lens, well, you want sharp images, right? So that's the thing. Then a high aperture, course, low light will await you, so it would be really nice if we have at least an f2 lens, for example. f1 point something, even better. And then the most important thing is the focal length. And let's start with a few landscape shots. The first one shows the beautiful view we had from the house where we stayed. On the left side you can see the house, and then you see the beautiful view down a valley and onto the mountains on the other side. 28mm gives you that ability, or a light wide angle lens gives you that ability to have some foreground and still get a beautiful variety of the landscape in front of you. The next one shows the beauty of this lens. We have a very Mediterranean scene here. It's also shot from the house we stayed. We have the olive trees in the foreground. Then we see some of those typical houses there. Also the mountains in the background, and we're shooting directly into the sun. We have no flaring, no ghosting, nothing. The lens on the Q3 is absolutely superb. By the way, I have this image in black and white too, and I just can't decide which one I like better. Those backlit images are always nice in black and white. You tell me, which one is your favorite? Should I make a video only about black and white photography? Let me know in the comments and we will see. Next up, let's look at a few images that I shot from the car. First, this beautiful road in the Greece mountains, and then we drove through a canyon. Look at those narrow streets and those steep cliffs. Without a wide angle, wouldn't be possible. Also the foreground from the car, well, wouldn't be there. And without those car shots, this would be nice shots, but they wouldn't tell the story that we were driving. So to get that component into the image, you need a wide angle lens. Next, let's look at a few street photography images. And let's start with this one. This is a beautifully backlit image. We have the architecture that we need for the composing, this round entrance or what you want to call it, and the light is falling in there. And then there's this little girl that's trying to clean. Well, it's a beautiful scenery. I absolutely like that image. And of course, without this wide angle lens, we wouldn't have the architecture in the image. The next one is shot in a market. And if you've ever been on a market in Crete or in Greece or on any market in that Mediterranean countries, you know, it is loud, it is hot, and it is very narrow. And with the Q3, I could take this nice shot with the girl on the cap and the oranges. It wouldn't be possible with a longer lens, of course. I had no chance to step back. So there you go, street photography. The Q3 is absolutely gorgeous. Next, a few images from my projects. I like to shoot animals in foreign countries. I did it with the birds in the US, and now in Greece I had birds and cats. There are a lot of cats there. They're all homeless, but well, somehow they're not afraid of people. So the first one is one that was always at a house we stayed. It came very close, and therefore the Q3's AF helped a lot. I mean, look how sharp those eyes are. And the way I got those images is, of course, you have to look for the cat a bit. You do not want to be bitten or scratched. Of course, you do not know if those cats are ill or something like that. I took the camera and shot those images blind. So I faced the camera in front of the cat and just took it and relied on the autofocus. Please, guys, can someone write in the comments that the autofocus of this camera is bad? I mean, I read it so often. Look at this image, very close. It's an animal. It was eye autofocus on this camera, and I think it did pretty well. And then there is this images from the pigeon. Well, you could shoot an image like this with a telelens, but if you shoot it with a telelens, it is just a pigeon in front of the sky. And honestly, we have a lot of them and it's boring. So you need a little bit of context, and there are those houses, those buildings. You have the leading line from the houses, the pigeon in the middle. Beautiful image, I like it a lot. Wouldn't be possible with a telelens. By the way I shoot this image, I said that the autofocus for the other one, for the cats, is pretty good. Those images are always shot manually because I have a scenery, I see the houses and everything like that, and then I pre-focus my lens and I'm waiting for the bird to fly into the image. Of course, I don't only want to shoot the bird, I want to shoot the whole scenery. And therefore, it is absolutely helpful to have a focus scale on the lens. Now we had landscape photography, we had street photography, we had my project with the animals. Now let's look at low light. Of course, you will shoot in low light, you will shoot at night. And here I have an image for you that's very interesting, and that is this one. It was pitch black out there. We drove home, and then there were those goats on the street. And I took the camera and held it out of the window and took this shot. And everything on the right side, that you can see, the goats on the right side, they were pitch black on the image. And you can see how good this camera handles high ISO. I mean, remember, this is a 60 megapixel sensor. Of course you have some noise, but, well, that's expected, but I think it's absolutely handleable. I think it's all right. I do not have a problem with this amount of grain in pitch black darkness. So yeah, I'm impressed by the low light capabilities of this camera. Oh, one interesting thing. Flip screen. Can you remember how happy we all were as Leica announced that they would put this flip screen into this camera? Finally a flip screen on Leica? Yeah, never used it. So that's that. Now let's quickly talk about why I picked this camera over that camera because they are very similar in size. This has also, by the way, this is the Leica M11. It has also that 60 megapixel sensor, and I often said that's my favorite camera, and it is. But this camera needs quite some concentration if you're using it. You get beautiful results, but you often need two hands. Of course, you have to focus it. And to get good images, you have to focus on photography. And I traveled with my family, my wife and my two little kids. And honestly, there is not that much place for only focusing on photography. So it was quite helpful to have autofocus in this camera because you can shoot it with only one hand. You can point it somewhere, hit it, and you got the image. That's not possible with this camera. Now that we talked about the M11, let's talk about a few other competitors to the Q3 on the market. Of course, there are a few and they are pretty popular as well. The most popular one, probably the Fuji X100 series. The X106 is the latest one and it's sold out everywhere. It's also this one camera, one lens combo. It is even smaller than this one, but the lens doesn't come close to this one and it only has an APS-C sensor. Then Fuji lately released the, let me get this right, it's always wrong, the GFX 100 RF. A one camera, one lens combo with a big medium format sensor inside. So it has an even bigger sensor, it has 100 megapixels, but it has a lens that's not as good as this one. It's not as sharp and it has only an f4 aperture. If you're a landscape photographer mainly, well, f4 is not bad, but for low light, well, nothing beats a higher aperture. And then there are those Ricoh cameras, those small point and shoots. They are the smallest of all of them. The lens goes inside the body, but it also only has an APS-C sensor, and of course the lens has not the quality that this one has. So if we were looking at all of them, I think the Q3 is the sweet spot. It's the perfect mixture of them. It has the best lens. It is a bit bigger than the X106 and the Ricoh camera, but it's smaller than the GFX 100 RF from Fuji, and it has a pretty big sensor, not as big as the one from the GFX, but bigger than the one from the other one. So I think size-wise, sensor, lens, I truly think this is the best combo you can have. We talked about the competitors, we talked about the scenarios a camera like this has to go through. And I think it is safe to say, at least for me, that yes, this is the perfect travel camera. Because out of all of my camera systems that I have, the M system, DSL system, my Sony system, I was not even thinking about which camera I should take. I immediately grabbed this one. And that is a big sign for me. I love it. It is rugged, it is weather sealed. It faces all the scenarios, and the most important thing is it delivers beautiful images. If you have a different opinion, which is totally fine and good, let us know in the comments. Which is your favorite travel camera? Did I miss something in the comparison? Did I miss any cameras? Let me know. As always, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.